Hello there and welcome once again to The Verdict. I'm Mick Cornett and we're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues, and my partner is Kent Meyers.
Well, certainly glad to be back with you.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to have a good Thanksgiving.
I assume we will. They've all been good in the past.
Well, mine have been better than my waistline has been able to stand.
It is hard to say no on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We're really pleased today to welcome, after the break, Dean Lyn Entzeroth of the University of Tulsa College of Law. She has been dean there for a couple of years, and we haven't had her on before, and we wanted to have her on to talk about some really, I would be correct in calling them spectacular results that are coming out of the University of Tulsa College of Law that I think our viewers will be interested in.
Very well respected, and she'll be our guest today. We'll learn more about TU's law school right after this.
Soccer has been such an important part of my life. It's been my life for 18 years. It's an amazing experience to be a part of the Big 12 championship team in 2017 with the OSU Cowgirls. And looking back, it's one of the best things that has happened to me. I'm Lyn at Duke, I'm a medical student, and I'm Chickasaw. There is a need for physicians in rural and underserved areas of Oklahoma, and that's where my heart is. I definitely want to stay here and practice in Oklahoma and give back to the community that has given me so much. And I want to make my family proud, and Chickasaws proud too, and ultimately make other people have healthier, happier lives is what I really set out to do.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
When I came to work for the ODVA, I started realizing the opportunity to take care of veterans. It's a powerful thing when you realize that you are taking care of people that made history.
Working here is a calling. It's really, really important that they don't just come here to exist. We want to give them meaning to their lives. We try to make life happy and meaningful and fulfilled for our veterans.
Welcome back to our set. You're watching The Verdict, and Kent Meyers is going to introduce our first guest.
As we talked about in the open, our guest is Dean Lyn Entzeroth from the University of Tulsa College of Law. Lyn did her undergraduate work at the University of Wisconsin, did her law work at Tulane University College of Law, where she was inducted into the Order of the Coif, which means she's really smart. She practiced law, and I'll hasten to add, I was not inducted in the Coif. That's why I think those folks that are really smart. Anyway, she practiced law privately for a number of years before joining the University of Tulsa in 2002. She has served in various positions there at the University College of Law and became dean in 2015. A couple of more things I want to tell you about Lyn is that she's a prolific writer in a number of areas, primarily in legal areas, and her area of practice and interest is capital punishment. So she has spent a lot of time writing about capital punishment problems and situations. Lyn, so glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
I guess the first semester should be winding up. How'd it go?
The first semester is going great. I teach a class to all the first-year students in their first semester of law school. It's called the Dean's Seminar, and we introduce them into the practice of law and get the students to start thinking about where they want to be in their careers. And I have to say, this new group of students, they're smart, they're energetic, they're interesting, and seem ready to go.
Well, do they seem to have direction, or do they at some point just say, oh, I guess I'll go to law school? I mean, you probably encounter both.
We encounter both, but I think we have students with more direction now than probably 15 years ago. And we try to steer them in that direction, beginning with the first day of orientation. We really want them to focus in on what interests them, what are they good at, and get them to experiment and try when they're in law school different opportunities so that when they're graduating, they are able to become fully employed and begin their career as lawyers.
Well, talk about the student today compared to maybe 10 or 15 years ago. I know you did just a little bit there. Is it harder to acquire the good students now to the University of Tulsa or any law school than it was 15 years ago?
So I just want to back up a minute ago. When I started in 2002, we had a very large student population. We have a much smaller student population now because we are much more selective in who we admit to the College of Law and who eventually comes there. I do think that we use a number of different strategies to make sure that we get the students who will be the best fit for the law school. Our admissions policy is very personal. We want to get to know the students, not just what their LSAT score or their undergraduate GPA is, but who they are and what they want to accomplish and why they want to go to law school and what we can do to help them meet their professional dreams. So I think that personal touch that we take now helps us bring in really the best and the brightest, and I'm thrilled with the students we have at the law school.
The University of Tulsa, of course, is a private university, and by definition, so is a law school. So your tuition is charged to the students as they come in. If you've cut down the number of students you're admitting, that obviously would bring about, at least at first blush, a reduction in revenue. How have you compensated for that?
So when I became dean, we had 87 students in the 1L class, which was smaller than we wanted to be. I worked closely with the administration to make sure that we could maintain the selectivity while growing the class size, which is critical to the revenue piece. The other piece with respect to revenue is we do have very generous donors and alums who are actively involved in the College of Law, and we actively are finding more scholarship dollars to support our students.
Are there trends about where young people seem to be headed with their law degree and their career aspirations?
I think there are a number of different things that students want to do. We do have a group of students who want the law degree, but they're not actually going to practice law. They're going to go, some of them have a family business, and so they're going to go into the family business. Some are interested in becoming landmen, and that's what they go to do. But our students do what lawyers always do when they start out. They're public defenders, they're prosecutors, they go to work for the big firms, they go to the small firms, and some are hanging up a shingle and making a go of it.
Well, we danced around it, but I'm afraid I didn't ask it directly. What is the current enrollment at the College of Law?
So if we have a 19% increase in our 1L class this year, our first year class,
Wow.
so we have 119 students in our 1L class. My goal is to have between 120 and 140 students. We still want to maintain our small size, but the 120 to 140 range is, I think, the sweet spot for us to provide personal experience for our students, that one-on-one connection that they make with faculty and staff, and still provide enough robust activity going on at the school.
What about geographic representation? Are you heavily loaded with Oklahoma, or do you have a lot of outside of Oklahoma students?
For the class that we brought in, we have about 51% who are outside of Oklahoma.
Really?
So it is a large group, and the law school traditionally has had a number of students from outside of Oklahoma. I think we view ourselves more as a regional university as opposed to just as Oklahoma-only university. Saying that, a number of the students that come to Oklahoma or to Tulsa to go to law school end up staying here. They come to Tulsa, they love the city, they find jobs here, they meet their life's partner here, and they decide to stay. So I also think, and part of our mission is bringing in smart, talented young people to the city of Tulsa who are going to be able to stay and become leaders in the city and in the state. And having so many from out of state, I think we have seen that happen.
You said you arrived at the university in '02, so how have you seen technology be more and more involved in the law school education?
That is a great question. I mean, technology has changed dramatically. We didn't have iPhones when I started teaching, so no one was looking under the desk texting during class on that. So part of it is what the students do, right? There's all different kinds of devices that they now have available for them and available for their research. So we have expanded our opportunities with respect to how the students can be trained. We also are providing or looking into providing some online classes. I believe we need to maintain the in-person primary program for our students, but looking at in the summer, can we offer online classes, particularly for students who might be in another city doing an externship or having a job, but they want to take a class at night? Can we meet the needs of those individuals? So it's really exciting to see how technology can enhance and improve education.
Let me ask you about student recruitment. You've obviously been doing a good job in recruiting students, but give me kind of a breakdown of how you organize and carry out your recruitment issues.
So we have a team, an admissions office team. The 3 directors of that office are all lawyers, and they do a number of different things. As I said, we want it to be very personal. We want to get to know the whole student, not just the statistics, and we want them to get to know us. So our staff does a lot of visits to a number of campuses all over the country. We've had some visits recently to Michigan. Kalamazoo is very interested in the University of Tulsa. I think perhaps they think we'll have nicer winters than they have up in Michigan, and except for that this week, we probably do. And they also then have students come to campus. They do webinars. We have lunch and learns on Fridays, where students who have an interest in law school can come and visit the campus and get to know what law school is like. They sit in on classes, they meet with faculty, they meet with administrators during the admissions process.
We got about 1 minute left in this segment. What are your priorities? When you talk to your staff at this point, what are they working on?
So I think the 3 priorities for me for our students are outcomes: bar passage, job placement, and reducing student debt load to a manageable level. So that student focus, when I'm with my staff and we're talking about what do we need to accomplish, our first priority is our students and how to help them achieve those goals.
Seems like a good idea. We'll get back. We're visiting with Dean Lyn Entzeroth. She's with the University of Tulsa's School of Law, and we'll be right back with more from her.
OU Law has a history and heritage that are unparalleled. At the University of Oklahoma College of Law, we empower our students to pursue the career of their dreams. We have the highest U.S. News ranking ever achieved by an Oklahoma law school. We are the first law school in the country to launch a college-wide digital initiative, and this year, our competition teams ranked number 2 in the nation. OU Law, generations of excellence, limitless possibilities.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Meyers and our guest, Dean Lyn Entzeroth of the University of Tulsa's Law School. One of the key words in making selections, whether it's a student admission or a faculty hire, is diversity. How have you all adjusted and made inroads in that area?
So diversity is something that we are very deliberate and mindful about, both within recruiting students and recruiting faculty. For the incoming class, 55% of that class is female. 28% are from underrepresented groups, and 18% are first-generation college students who have now attending law school. But we look beyond just the student body. We want to make sure that our faculty also will reflect the diversity in our student body. So when we are hiring new faculty, one of our top priorities is to assure that we have a diverse faculty as well.
Well, from the time you came to TU in 2002, I think,
That's correct.
how has the female population increased or changed from the 55% number that it is today?
I think this is the highest number of women we've had in the College of Law. Nationwide, student enrollment we see an increase in women this year in this 1L class. So this is the largest number of women we've had. Now, I will say with our faculty, we have a lot of women on our faculty. I am the third woman dean at the College of Law. So this is, I feel like we are well represented among the administration as well. And that I think for our female students gives them some role models as to what they can look for their lives.
U.S. News and World Report selected you as one of the top 100 law schools in the country. Congratulations on that. Yeah. And can you kind of go over the criteria and the selection process?
So the U.S. News and World Report, when they are ranking law schools, look at a number of different factors. And this year we were ranked 87th overall in U.S. News and World Report, and that looks at things like the selectivity of our student body. It also looks at outcomes, how our students do in job placement, how our students do on bar passage, and it also looks at the size of the school and the student-teacher ratio. We are 10th in U.S. News and World Report, 10th in the nation for job placement, and the job placement is real lawyer jobs, full-time, long-term, either bar license or JD Advantage jobs 10 months after graduation. And we achieved that by starting on day one, getting the students to focus on their careers. We do this in the Dean's Seminar. We have multiple programs throughout the school year to get students focused on their careers.
Well, that's bound to be a real recruiting plus to let an incoming student know what is the likelihood of getting employment when they spend 3 years and work hard and spend money and then graduate.
Yes, that's absolutely true. I think that is one of the reasons we are seeing an increase in enrollment is because of our outcomes. In addition, our bar passage, because you're not going to be able to practice law if you don't pass that bar examination. For the class of 2018, we were ranked 44th in the nation in our bar passage.
That's first-time takers.
First-time takers. 93% of our graduates pass within 2 years of graduation. So this is a very strong bar passage. This is, I think, is a critical thing for our students to be able to achieve.
Do you teach to the bar passage, or is the bar passage the result of the education they've gotten?
It's a combination. One of the things that we do, we have the traditional law school classes which train our students in the key things that you need to know, be a lawyer. What lawyers have studied for many years, all of us studied, right? Contracts, torts.
Required courses.
The required courses. We also have a number of electives. But the last semester of law school, we have one course which is called basically preparation for practice. And it is getting students ready for the bar exam, having them do some practice tests, but also showing them the amount of work that has to go into studying for the bar. After they graduate, we do not abandon them. We stay with them during the 2 months that they're studying for the bar exam to provide the support that they need to achieve that goal.
That would seem to be critical to me, to stay with them and see to it that they get into the profession.
I think that's absolutely true, that the staying with them, and we stay with them after they graduate to help them secure those first jobs.
The 90-some% within 2 years is a startlingly high number, I think, is it not?
It's a very high number, and nationally, a number of schools have seen a decline in bar passage.
Right.
So I'm pleased that we are seeing an uptick for ours.
Talk about your clinical education program. What is that, and how do you bring it about?
So we have both clinics and externships. It's really a key part of our education is experiential learning.
And distinguish between the two, would you?
Absolutely. So clinical programs are programs that we actually have on campus where we have professors teaching a clinic, and it's sort of like having a small law practice. We have the Immigrant Rights Clinic where our professors work with students to help individuals seek legal status in the United States.
Actual clients. Then.
Actual clients. So they meet real clients. We have the Community Advocacy Clinic. They have worked with individuals in a number of different things. So our students have represented individuals seeking Social Security disability benefits or seeking a protective order from someone who is being violent in their lives. We also have a solo practice clinic. This is for individuals who want to go and hang up their shingle when they graduate, particularly for individuals who want to go to more rural communities. This gives them some ability to put together that business plan and know what they're getting themselves into. This year also, we received a generous gift from the Sarkees Foundation to create a new clinic, the Terry West Civil Legal Clinic, and Terry West, as we all know, is a tremendous lawyer here in Oklahoma.
From Shawnee.
In Shawnee. Ronnie Ammett is our professor who is going to be leading that. She is an international human rights and access to justice lawyer, and she has been working in the Tulsa community now to identify the legal needs in the community.
More and more attorneys market themselves, whether it's on television or through other regards. Is that something that is taught at the law school level, or is that something they pick up along the way?
We do teach them how to put their best foot forward. So every resume that they put out, every cover letter that they are going to send out, our professional development office reviews that for them and gives them feedback. And you had mentioned earlier technology. We also work with students to be mindful of what they have on Facebook or on other social media to know that they're now lawyers and lawyers to be, and they need to make sure that their public face is reflecting who they want to be.
Are students still running into trouble, as they did a number of years ago fairly frequently, on having to explain the picture on the website that was taken maybe 2 years ago at a Saturday night function or something?
Well, that can still be a problem. They need to
that
clean up.
That pops up on the review by the bar, I suspect.
It does, and when I teach the Dean's Seminar, one of the sessions that we have is about their presentation to the world, and we have them all review their Facebook page. We talk about the consequences of having a Facebook page or a picture where you're having too much fun, and perhaps that's not the image that you want to present to the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned not only clinical education, but experiential learning as well?
We also have externships. We have more than 150 externships, and again, this gives our students the opportunity to work with real clients and work on real problems. They're assigned to a lawyer wherever they're doing their externships. They do externships with the public defender, with the district attorney, but a number of different agencies. And it is an opportunity for students to figure out what they want to do. A few years ago, there was a young woman, and she knew she wanted to be a corporate lawyer and do a particular kind of corporate work, so we got her an externship in that. And 4 weeks in, she said, I do not want to do this. This is not me at all. So the next externship was with the DA's office. She said, this is great. I'm busy all day long. I love juggling. This is my path.
What's the difference between an internship and an externship?
So an externship is you do a placement for credit, and it is supervised, and we oversee it, and there are a number of requirements that have to go into the educational experience. An internship is a student's placement on their own, either volunteer or for pay.
One other rating here I wanted to pass along, number 5 in best value law school among public and private. That's pretty good.
We're in the top 25 for the best.
People are looking for that return on investment, aren't they?
We are. We're in the top 25 for the best value law schools. We're second in the nation for private law schools to be the best value. And again, this is, when they did that ranking, it's based on bar passage, job placement, cost of living, and Tulsa is a very affordable place to live, and student debt load upon graduation. And we work hard to make sure our students have a reasonable tuition and scholarships to help them achieve those goals.
All right. Well, Dean Entzeroth, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure, Lyn. Thank you.
Kent and I'll have a final word when we get back.
It used to be okay in hospitals. It used to be okay in movie theaters. It was okay in classrooms, restaurants, and airplanes. But thanks to a greater understanding of the dangers, that's not okay anymore. So now that we know secondhand smoke causes lifelong health problems, why is it still okay to smoke with children in the car? Bottom line, it's not okay. Let's get serious about protecting kids. Join the fight at stopswithme.com.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, Each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
I really think people are so unaware of the number of kids waiting just in Oklahoma. And I think if more people knew that those children were out there waiting, I think that just by the way we live our lives and the people we talk to, that maybe we can help encourage adoption from Oklahoma.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Meyers. We've been visiting with Lyn Entzeroth of the University of Tulsa's Law School.
Yes, and we owe our viewers an apology for not having her on earlier. She's been there 2 years, and we had not been able to wrangle that appearance until right now. This law school in Tulsa is accelerating upward at a dramatic pace and doing wonderful things. It's an opportunity that is rare for the law student to have the kind of exposure that is offered at University of Tulsa.
That's right, succeeding on all the metrics that we accounted during the show. Let's get you some website information, how you can get more information on the law school at TU and Lyn Entzeroth herself. That's at www.law.utulsa.edu, and you see that on your screen. And we have a website. We'd love for you to log on and tell us about a guest you'd like to see or a topic you'd like to see us discuss on a future edition. And that website is theverdict.tv. That's theverdict.tv. We really appreciate Lyn Entzeroth coming on the show and expanding on what we already knew about the University of Tulsa's fine law school. And I hope you enjoyed the show too. For Kent Meyers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next week right here with another edition of The Verdict.